Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the African Fintech Summit for this 2020. This is day 2 of a 3-day summit, and I hope you enjoyed all of the panels, the networking, and the keynote that we had yesterday. It's great to be here. I know that we are joining here on this digital platform from all around the world. And as you heard yesterday, maybe it's a good thing that we get to commune in this way. After all, we're in a digital world. So we're going to be kicking off this morning with a keynote speech that I, in particular, am very excited about. Anytime that we see African women leading digital transformation, we know that it's a good thing. So this morning we have the Honorable Cina Lawson with us, who is the Minister of Post-Digital Economy and the Technical Innovation for Togo. And she has had such an inspiring career, and it's far from over, believe me. She has a career that has had her at the World Bank, the Orange Group in New York, and Alcatel-Lucent in Paris. She is also the first African female political figure to receive the Harvard Alumni Public Service Award. I'm excited and honored to introduce her to us this morning. And she is one of the leading digital innovation transformation leaders on our continent this morning. So Honorable Cina Lawson, so good to have you here. Thank you for joining us, and we're all excited to listen to your keynote.
Thank you, Viola. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to join you at this year's Africa Fintech Summit. I would like to thank the Dallas Global and IBES Frontier organizers of this all-important summit for inviting me to share some thoughts with you as we kick off day 2 on the theme Fintech-enabled business models. To all of you connecting from across the continent and the globe, thank you very much for joining us. Let me begin by taking you back 25 years from now, the 1990s. Mobile phones were all the rage in Europe, and telecoms operators were cashing in on offering voice and SMS services to eager clients. If you wanted to own a mobile phone at that time, you needed to enter into an agreement with the operator and commit to be his subscriber for a period of time, possibly 1 or 2 years. The operator, in turn, would subsidize the price of the phone and then bill you for calls you made at the end of each month. They could provide you with this postpaid service because they had your ID, banking info, and home address. This model worked in Europe and still does today, thanks in no small part to well-established addressing schemes, making it easy to know where people lived, robust ID systems, making it possible to prove clients' identities, and a banking system that enabled payment over time. Expanding this model to Africa was another story. Telcos were faced with 2 key issues. First, how do you bring the cost of service within reach of lower income clients in developing countries? Second, how do you offer such a service to Africa, a continent where addresses and proof of IDs were unreliable and people didn't have banking accounts? The solution to this problem was to have people pay for the services before they consume, not after. You buy credit to be able to make calls and send text. If you run out of credit, the operator suspends the service until you recharge. And this worked. Thanks to this simple concept of pay before you consume, or pay as you go, telecom operators were able to break into emerging markets. Today, there are nearly 500 million unique mobile subscribers in sub-Saharan Africa, up from just 1 million when the first pay-as-you-go mobile service was launched on the continent in 1996. This right here demonstrates the power of pay-as-you-go models. Just by virtue of giving people the chance to pay for services over time as they consume, changes the notion of access to goods. Coming back to the present day, with the emergence of fintech solutions, such as mobile money, e-payments, peer-to-peer lending, cryptocurrencies, and others, we can potentially redefine the concept of wealth and poverty for millions of people across the globe. The difference between rich and poor is fundamentally a question of who has access to the assets and services that characterize a fulfilling quality of life. Consider a hypothetical solar panel, which costs, let's say, $1,000 to purchase. For person A, who has more than 10,000, they could easily afford one. Person B, who has less than 10,000, will feel that they cannot afford to acquire this solar panel. But if it were possible for person B to pay, let's say, $10 to get the solar panel and pay 100 times $10, which would be equivalent to 1,000, till they have covered the entire cost, then all of a sudden, both person A and person B would have access to the solar panel. Thanks to fintech-enabled pay-as-you-go business models, we are now able to apply the same concept to any sector. Take agriculture, for example. More than 60% of the population of sub-Saharan Africa are smallholder farmers. Yet many of them farm by hand on plots less than 1 hectare in size. As a result, their productivity is limited. Tractors make it easier to cultivate larger plots and helps increase yields, but they are out of reach for many low-income farmers. Startups like Via Trotro and Hello Tractors are leveraging this model to make mechanized farming accessible to farmers by allowing them to access tractors on a pay-as-you-go basis using their mobile phones with payments enabled by mobile money. The Togolese government recognizes the potential of using this approach to improve the livelihoods of our farmers. We recently set up a joint venture with Via Trotro to make this happen. Our farmers are now able to benefit from using a tractor without having ever to purchase one outright. It's like Uber, but for tractors. Pay-as-you-go business models have also been useful to bring clean energy to the masses, which then has a spillover effect on things like education, healthcare, and more. Bbox, for example. Bbox operates in 12 countries, including Rwanda and Togo, and they're applying pay-as-you-go models and mobile payments to equip households, communities, and SMEs with solar home systems and other income-generating assets, such as clean cooking equipment, electric meals, and solar-powered irrigation systems. For low-income population who benefit from pay-as-you-go models, such as those of Bbox or Via Trotro, these goods and services not only will help them to survive, but to thrive. Fintech is therefore a powerful enabler of this revolutionary business model, which represents a paradigm shift in how we think about and approach development. Fintech provides traceability, speed, and scale. It leverages mobile payments and enables data collection. We often hear about the impact of these fintech benefits for business and consumers, but these key ingredients have proved critical to governments during the COVID-19 pandemic. As lockdowns, curfews, and other restrictions were passed in several countries, including Togo, we had to scramble to find ways to reach millions of unbanked populations with social protection programs, such as cash transfers, especially to informal sectors, informal workers, women, and the poor. Thankfully, fintech has been a crucial part of Africa's response to address the economic impacts of a pandemic on the incomes of millions. Governments across the continent are leveraging fintech to deliver social cash transfers to their citizens as a way to give urgent support. In Togo, for instance, it took 10 days to build and launch Novici, our 100% digital cash transfer program that allows the government to enroll, target, and pay beneficiaries in the informal sector. It is designed to be accessible